Welcome back to the channel. My name is Aaron Touchstone and I am on the road to 3K iRating. I have never received any kind of coaching in my life, and I have seen many commercials or advertisements about trophi.ai and how much it can help you. So today we're putting this to the test. I'm not affiliated with this company at all, so if you happen to see an affiliate link down in the description, it may or may not be there. That is depending if it works or not. If it works, there will be an affiliate link. If it doesn't work, probably won't be an affiliate link. But in today's video, to kind of see how we are going to get better, there is a 30-minute Porsche Cup race scheduled for next week on Spa. I'm going to be test driving on Spa on fixed conditions for both without trophi.ai coaching me, and then I'm going to do it with trophi.ai coaching me in the same weather. So we have the same, there's no variables really. It's just going to be the same conditions no matter what. So we have the potential of the same results. Now, I'm going to be racing the Porsche Cup. I'm going to be doing at least 20 laps before I do any coaching. I want to see what kind of lap time I can get in the fixed Porsche setup before we, before we really even try coaching, just so I can get an understanding of the track, what kind of lap times can I turn, and we're just going to see what we can do. So let's jump into the car. Let's turn 20 laps on Spa and see what the fastest lap time we can do. And then I've got to sign up for this free trial because, I mean, if this works and it works really well, and it gets me to 3K iRating in a couple of weeks, maybe it's worth it. Let's get right into the video. So here we are. This is the fastest lap of our really just like learning session, learning Spa, kind of getting back into the swing of things. If you've never raced Spa before, you have a tight hairpin turn, and then you have maybe the most famous turn in the world, a Rouge. Going through this originally, I never went flat out. It's definitely faster to go completely flat out, but it is quite sketchy in this Porsche Cup car. Going down the long straight here, this is called the Kimmel Straight. Then going into a pretty tough couple of turns here, turns 7, 8, and 9. You gotta brake really, really hard. You go over the curb, and if you go too far inside, you can bounce a lot. I actually took this pretty well on this specific lap. And then this turn, coming into turn 10, you will have a tremendous amount of oversteer. I'm not going to show you guys this entire session, but I actually struggled through that turn quite a bit. And then once again, just going into a little fast left-hand turn. And this turn number 12, was maybe throughout, I've probably done 80 laps at this point. This is obviously after all these sessions. And I struggled through this turn. I could not stay consistent. But overall, I actually took probably one of my best times on this lap here, and a nice little right-hander into a left-hander. You just got to keep your pace up quite a bit, and then once again you've got to use a lot of brakes here. You'll notice here that I turned in quite early, and once again you just got to let off gas a little bit, stay off the very far right part of the curb because it will bounce you outside and you'll go into the sand. And here you are completely flat out. I was not able to take this fast left flat out. However, somebody might be able to, but I don't know if you really can in the Porsche Cup right now. And then coming into the chicane, you're just going all the way down to first gear. I actually catch the curb a bit there and get a decent little exit to complete our fastest lap, and that fastest lap was a 2:18. All right, so we just got done with the first session. We completely ran out of fuel, and these are the laps without any coaching. Didn't look at any lap guides. I have a pretty good understanding of how to run Spa. However, I just feel like I lack a bit of pace, and we're gonna go through that really quickly. So these are all the laps. Our fastest lap time was a 2:18.9. I'm going to show you guys what this lap actually looked like, and we're just going to do a quick little walkthrough on what parts of the track that I think I did good at and what parts of the track that I don't think I did so good at. So our average pace was a 2:19.559 from laps 3 through 14. I'm skipping lap 2 or 1 and 2 because just kind of trying to eliminate the cold tires and just have a little bit better data. That might be a bad way to do it, but in my opinion, I think this is the best way to do it because cold tires are kind of just all over the place, I feel like sometimes. But So this is our first time. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to run session number 2 and see how much faster that we can get. This was a pretty consistent session. As you can see, if you're looking at all the times here, I ran 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 laps in the 219s, 1 in the 218, and then 1 220 as well. So overall, or 220s, overall very consistent, which is what I like to see. Let's do another stint and let's see if we can get any quicker. Jumping up a rouge.
Right tightening corner. Brake 15 meters later and turn in 15 meters earlier.
Interesting. Want me to basically use a bit more of the track and brake a little later?
Right hairpin, stay left, brake harder, and turn in later.
Something that I noticed after this session was over and all of our trophy AI sessions is the track temperature was actually up 5 degrees. Now that doesn't seem like much. Will change the amount of grip that you have tremendously. So keep this in mind because you will see me get frustrated because of how much
This is my second lap.
Not keeping up.
So not expecting to keep up a pace here. This is the turn where I feel like to use the most guidance.
The weirdest part about this is just listening to something that is talking to me while racing and talking about my driving.
It's kind of nice that it's telling you good job, but I wasn't paying attention to that specific corner. I do like how the AI system will go back and tell you if you did a corner right. That's
right tightening, brake 10 meters later, and release
nice.
trail brake more gradually. Right hairpin, brake smoothly, and use second gear at apex.
I think it was telling me to try to avoid the spin there, but I'm just struggling a bit. Not hitting that exactly right. I was definitely driving that a bit better before AI, but that has nothing to do with AI there. That is a me problem.
Right hairpin, turn in earlier, and brake more smoothly.
Definitely missed my spot, but we're about break even on the Delta.
On that last right hairpin, your turn in was spot on, and the brake point improved.
Kind of missed the apex there a bit. Okay.
On that last right tightening, your brake release and turn in were too early.
It's very interesting thinking about driving right now. Like, I do feel like I'm almost driving more off of voice versus off
Right hairpin,
my thoughts.
brake smooth.
Keep on clipping the curb on the inside there. Oh my. So, initial thoughts.
I don't think I'm driving as good today. But it's weird having someone talk to me about driving and telling me what to do while driving, which I think is kind of nice. There's nothing about driving technique, which I think is almost what I need more than anything. Which I don't really expect the AI to say, hey, your driving technique kind of sucks or something like that. But it's realistically only giving me data on the telemetry. So
Right tightening, brake earlier, and turn in 15 meters sooner.
So it's simply just telling me the telemetry
Fast right corner,
difference.
stay committed, and carry a touch more apex speed.
And I'm curious to know.
Slow down. You got a penalty?
Right
Cutting
hairpin,
the
brake
course.
15 meters later, and turn in 5 meters earlier.
I'm curious to know what telemetry it has me chasing right now. Like, am I chasing like a 10K iRating telemetry, or am I chasing like a 5? Or is it just mistakes in my driving? I just don't know where it's telling me to adjust these things for. Which I find quite interesting. I also wonder if it would tell me like, hey, you can carry a higher speed to this corner or something like that.
Right corner, be in third gear, and carry a little more apex speed.
There's the speed question I was asking. Nothing worse than warming up your tires and wrecking on the next lap. Pretty deep into the sessions, and
3, 2, 1.
there's a few things here that I think could be applicable to you guys. One, if you really struggle with finding braking zones, maybe even turning points, this could be valuable to you. Like, I see drivers from 0.5k to 1k or 2k iRating, maybe 1.5k iRating could really use this. Yeah, 0.5 to 1.5k. I think it could be beneficial, especially for y'all kind of understanding just the initial gas and brake points. I think it could be very nice. Bringing over the actual system itself, we're just gonna look through this. All right, so looking at this, our apex gear is too low. So what is it saying here? I wish you could like hover over this and it would tell you. All right, so we have a lot of different things. So turn 7 is the fast one after the Kimmel straight. So apex speed is too low, so meaning we're, I guess, we're downshifting too hard maybe, which is kind of interesting. Maybe that's why we're getting a lot of oversteer. Turn 4 is through a rouge. Returning is far too early or too late. So too late here. Turn 7 or trail braking is perfect. We are amazing at trail braking through there, so I really just need to stay in a different gear and maybe I'll gain more time. So we're going to try and stay in 4th a bit later. Smooth this. Your steering inputs are too jerky. So average time to gain. Big braking zones, so I am rated a 70 on all of these. Very interesting. And my steering is the weakest part. So what I'm getting from this is that I suck, basically. So the second session of coaching, we're going to do one more session of coaching, and then we're going to do just flat out a full stint and see if we got any faster. Don't know if we will be. We're looking for an average pace increase. So let's see if we can improve here. I have a lot of notes on what to get better on. Second session with coaching, we're going to focus on a couple of things here. It is good to hear what we could be doing better at, but I think it is also going to be better for us to focus on what we're actually doing at the same time. Like, trying to understand why it's telling us that, if that makes sense, and applying it. And our goal here during this whole stint is to literally get one purple sector. Would be nice. So what you're seeing here is our first purple sector after using Trophy AI. However, the only thing that Trophy AI really made me change in this sector is shifting from first to second during the middle of the apex.
On that last right hairpin, your brake
myself,
pressure was
I was
much
looking
better.
at the telemetry and noticed that somebody else that turned a
The
way
curve.
faster lap time than I did was going flat out through a rouge. So I just held it flat out, and that is why we are getting this green sector. So half me,
Right
half
tightening
Trophy.
corner, brake later, and turn in later.
Okay, we're locking into the first corner. I think I'm just
On
understanding
that last
it
right
better.
hairpin, your braking was better, just a touch early on turn in.
Trying to stay flat out here. Yeah. That sector is solely on me. Sorry,
Right tightening,
Trophy AI.
brake harder, and turn in later.
Faster lap.
Brake harder and turn in
It
later.
was all due to, I believe, our first sector of the last lap, but I'll take it. We wrecked again. We've done nearly an hour of practice on Trophy AI. Let's run a stint. Let's see how fast we can go with Trophy AI practice and see if it actually made a difference. 218. I got broke a bit early there. Look at this. Oh, barely an off track. Lap technically doesn't count. But we did turn our fastest lap ever, just there with a slightest bit of an off track. Uh-oh. Uh-oh!
We got damage on the front end. You've lost the rear wing. Major oversteer likely due to lost downforce. You've got damage on the left side.
We lost.
Here we go. So we crashed out of the session. We turned 14 laps in our first session, and we turned a whole grand total of 10 laps in the second one. Now, obviously, this is not exact data. I'm going to be testing Trophy AI longer, so I'm going to have a long-term review. So hit that subscribe button if you want to see it and see if, you know, maybe I have some more experience with Trophy AI in the long run, and maybe it ends up helping us a bit more. But let's go through the details and see how it actually performed. So on the left here, we have our first session, and obviously we ran more laps, but you're going to see here that we had a 1 lap in the 218s. That was a 218.9. Our fastest lap in session number 2 was a 218.495. So, and looking at this, lap 1 and 2, these are kind of cold tires. You can kind of see that on the first session here. They just kind of were the slowest laps by far. Now, if I'm looking at the second session and I'm comparing apples to apples here, the second session, if you are looking at it, let's say we eliminated lap 1 and 2 where we had cold tires. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 laps in the 218s. And if you look at the 219s, kind of midway through here, you have a 219.3, 219.2, 219.095, and the 220 that I turned during this was a slowdown through a rouge, that 1.7 second slowdown that you get. So if you erase that slowdown that I had, you know, you're looking at, once again, pretty much a 118 again, a mid 118 if you eliminated that slowdown on lap 2. We did have it though. But just comparing a little bit more here, we have our fastest laps. This is about the best I could do considering that, you know, we did wreck out. I couldn't compare it exactly. So session 1, our 10 fastest laps, we turned a 219.365. New session after laps number 2, our average was a 218.894. So 0.471 seconds faster. That's amazing. That is absolutely amazing. So if Trophy AI made us faster, absolutely incredible. This is where I'm going to fight Trophy AI a bit here. And if you watch this entirety of the video, if you skip to the results page, I discovered something by looking at someone's telemetry. I noticed that someone actually held a rouge flat out in the Porsche Cup. I didn't think you could do it because it just seemed squirrely. If you just watched just before this, I just wrecked in a rouge. But when I made that change while we were practicing, this entire second sit that we just ran was holding a rouge pretty much flat out for the most part. That single change was anywhere between 0.2 and 0.3 of a difference. So if you're looking at all the other turns, all the other braking points, you know, everything into consideration, that means if let's say we lowballed it here, let's say it was more than 0.2. Let's say that we lowballed it though. Let's say we only saved 0.2 from flat outing a rouge. That would leave us with 0.271 off of this number here. So 0.271 faster throughout the entire track is all that we gained after doing about 30 to 40 laps of training. but making that change, I would say, is closer to 0.3 instead of 2. So I would almost say it is 0.171 faster on the average seconds per lap after all the training. Now, it's not comparing it exactly apples to apples because we didn't finish the entire stint. That is something that I would like to do. So I'm going to be making a follow-up video on this. I did link trophi.ai down in the description below because I think that a lot of you people who are in the 0.5k to 1.5k, if you guys just struggle with braking points or steering, or see a lot of gear problems from people where they're just completely in the wrong gear, I think it could help you out quite a bit. And just try and get out for a week. I think you could get an understanding of that yourself. That would be my suggestion, is just try it out. Try some laps before trophi.ai and then after. Put it in a ChatGPT and say, hey, did I get faster? Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. And yeah, just compare it, see if it actually makes sense to you. But yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Maybe this helped you make your decision on trophi.ai or not. Give yourself a shot. Try the free trial down below. And if you have any questions or concerns, comments about the video, I would love to hear the feedback. So I appreciate it, and I will see you in the next one.